couple towns like Tiberias. We stopped there. They have like lakes, like really pretty lakes. But pretty much all we did was get. That's where I think. Well, one, we had really good pizza from Pizza Hut. So that was hilarious. So we like stopped. I had really good pizza in Jerusalem too. So they have these sauces, like a sweet, like white sauce and like a kind of like tangy red sauce that you can put on the pizza. And they put like green olives on their pizza. So it's like nice and salty, and then you can like get some spices and like sweetness going. So that was really yummy. So then we ended up getting pizza in Tiberias from Pizza, which I was like, oh, it's Pizza Hut. This will be interesting. It was nothing like Pizza Hut here. And like, it was same. Like, it was like olives, and it was super yummy with the sauces. And then, where else did we go up there? Safat. So Safat, I think, like, it's kind of related, like, to like they're known for like mysticism and Kabbalah. So like Madonna kind of made Safat, I think, well known in the U.S. And like she went there, and we didn't actually go exactly where she went. But yeah, so then we go to Safat, which was like, I don't know, there's a lot of artists there. So you kind of like, we parked, it was like really windy roads. And then we finally found a parking spot, and we just like walked around, and I think we visited a temple, and then there were a bunch of like art studios, and I got some really good baked goods. But back in Tiberias is where I got the Israeli coffee. So I have a friend here, Yael, that said, Stacie, you have to get the coffee. It's super good. And it's like a frozen mix. It's kind of like something you could get at like 7-Eleven, but it instead of like the fruit like Slurpee, it's coffee. And it's like creamy and sweet and already just done up. So I got that in Tiberias, and it was super cheap. It was like 5 shekel or something, and like 50 cents, I think. But I was really bad with the conversion. Like the whole time I was there, it was like play money. Like, it was horrible. I was just like, but it was so bad. I really could not get like a handle on it, and it was horrible in the markets because they were just like, it was just like, all right, what is this? But yeah, in Safat, I ended up getting. After I had it for the first time, which was probably halfway through the trip, like every day I tried to get coffee. It was so good.
So you said you guys drove, so you rented a car.
Yeah.
Like, how was that? Like, how was driving?
It was good. I drove Chris drove from Jerusalem to the Dead Sea, and then I think I might have driven from like the Dead Sea up or whatever. But it was fine. Like in Jerusalem, it's like it was kind of hard to like get out of Jerusalem. Because the streets were narrow and like just, you know, the way people drive. But like as soon as you get out of the city, it was just like highway driving down. So getting into the towns and stuff was like tougher driving, but it was like a little car. But it was so funny because like the rental service, like they had like one of their caveats is like undercarriage damage, which I've like never heard.
Yeah.
Ever. So we were joking the whole time that we were gonna have like undercarriage damage, and like who knows like what we were gonna get charged when like we finally got to the rental spot. But everything worked out fine, and we never got a flat tire, which was good. But it was like pretty affordable too to rent. Like we found a good deal for the rental ahead of time too, and we just booked it online and went there.
That was you said Safat?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're still like on, so pretty much Tel Aviv is on the west side.
Okay.
So we went from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem down to the Dead Sea to Kibbutz Kataram. Safat was like a day trip, like we would just go back, and then over to Akko and Haifa. Haifa was like, so Akko we just stopped in. It was like a port town, so it was right on the water. It was really pretty. And like, yeah, they kind of had like walls that you could like walk on, like pathways, like you would just go up the stairs to these like rock pathways, and you can kind of like walk like a border around town. So
Okay.
like the shops and everything would be like below, but you could walk above. So that was really nice. And then what did I get? I got like a really good like baked good there. That was, I think it was like cheesy, something that was like unique to that place. But I like I just ate my way through Israel, but that was really yummy. And then we went to Haifa. And in that town, like it's a city. It was like gorgeous, like right on the water, perfect view. Well, yeah, right on the water, like really nice views, super clean, like yeah. And we went on a really good hike, and then I think we just like touched down there, went on a hike, and then went to find our hotel. So we're only there for like one night, and the next day we went to the Baha'i Gardens. So that was like a big tourist spot. So it's these like meticulously manicured gardens. Like everything is perfect. They have like a Zen garden, they have like sand gardens, rock gardens. All their hedges are like perfectly trimmed. It was gorgeous. And the religion, I've never heard of it before, but it's like a global, like worldwide religion that's international, but there's not a lot of Baha'i people. But apparently they're just like really peaceful and chill, and that's as much as I really know about it. But I met this guy from Australia. The guy, like everyone that was there was volunteering, and they were kind of there on like, I don't know, like a service trip, or like what I would equate to like AmeriCorps or Peace Corps or something. They were doing like their volunteer service. So there was like a security guard. So this was like this like black Aussie guy that was like super cute, and then there's this American guy too. But then I talked to him just for a little bit, but I didn't have enough time to like kind of get the sense of like how long he had been there or whatever. I remember asking them a bunch of questions, and then yeah, so that was cool. It was just kind of like figuring out like, oh, what's like everyone, like what everyone's job is and like where they're coming from, because they weren't, I guess the only people that they actually employed like locally were the gardeners, but otherwise like every other role was like a volunteer role. But yeah, so that was like, Haifa was just really nice. Like it was kind of like West Coast.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, like chill, nice, seemingly laid back, like on the water, but like a big city. And then from Haifa, we went to Tel Aviv, and that was our last stop. And Tel Aviv was awesome. Like we only spent 2 nights there. So first night we went out to this delicious vegetarian restaurant. It's pretty much like the scene that, like my impression of Tel Aviv was like New York on the West Coast. Like not like San Francisco, like a little bit more like faster pace in San Francisco, but like on the water. So there were like surfers, there were like restaurants on the beach, but then like all these cafes, and everyone was like really like well dressed and like stylish, and then everyone smoked cigarettes. Like it was so surprising. Like all these young people were like smoking cigarettes, family, like parents. I was like, oh my god. But it was just like part of it. It was just like pretty much like cafe culture. Yeah, we went out to this like delicious vegetarian restaurant. That was like one of the highlights. And then hung out on the beach. I went in the water a little bit, but I didn't like really go swimming in the water because there are all these signs saying not to. And then what else did we had like a suite hotel. It wasn't like a hotel, but it was like an apartment that you could rent out like a room, and then it had like a patio. So we like hung out on the patio, and then just one like sort of regret. I mean, their like nightlife doesn't get started till like 3 a.m. or like something super late, which is nuts. Maybe like 2 or something, but it goes until like sunrise. So there was a Britney and Beyonce party on Friday, but we had to catch our flight on Saturday. So I was like all hyped to go, but then I was like, no way, I can't. Well, Chris, for one, was definitely not going to go. And then I was like, oh, wouldn't it be very good to go out at like 3 in the morning and have to get up for like 6, a taxi for like 6. But Tel Aviv, I would totally go back to Tel Aviv and like spend time there. It was super cool.
Okay, so you went a lot of places. How like daunting was that to plan?
I know, right? Well, Chris is an awesome planner. I like give all credit to. Well, I did do some research because, so I often like to give him a lot of credit because he always will like, he's way into like itineraries and doing a bunch of things, and I don't really need to do a million. Like I could just stay in the hotel, watch TV. Like we watched, what the heck did we watch? The movie with Janet Jackson and Jill Scott.
Oh, Why Did I Get Married?
What? When everyone gets together?
Yeah.
We watched that in the cabin in Catarem. Like, that's all I want to do is just, like, watch, like, eat food, watch movies, chill out. And that was perfect. Like, just, like, zone out, watch this, like, awesome cable television movie. Bunch of commercials, like, whatever. Yeah. Yes. Go to Israel. For sure.
Well, I have to now. Goodness.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you. Definitely.
So you recommend that time of that's like the season?
I think it's, well, it might be the off season. Maybe that's why the tickets were so cheap.
Yeah.
But like, it was not. I literally wore this shirt. Like, this is my shirt that I wore like all the time, and this is pretty much the outfit I wore. Like, you didn't need like you needed like a little sweater, and that was it. And it like it didn't even rain. I think it rained overnight in Kataram when we were there, but like it never rained even. And it was just like late spring weather here for sure. You could go later. I mean, I think it would be like the Dead Sea would be nicer if it was later.